the Latino vote. So on the immigration issue, loggerheads with a conservative base, probably some common ground. On these other things, I think one of the reasons the president tried to be optimistic and reach outside of Washington is he knows
He can't be still long enough, period.
on almost everything else, tough stuff.
Yeah, tough
Where's
stuff
the squirrel?
indeed. We got some new
Where's
folks
the
to stop
squirrel?
by for our panel. Jack Schlossberg, who's a student at Yale, grandson of John F. Kennedy Jr., joins us, as well as Paul
Where's the
Vidala,
squirrel?
who is much older. Margaret Hoover, CNN contributor and Republican consultant. Jack, you had written a while ago on CNN.com about the enthusiasm of young
These
voters
guys
had
sit
for
out there
President Obama.
and
I'm wondering, as you
we
listened
just
to
go-
his speech today, what went through your mind?
Well, I mean, one thing
Where's
that
the
struck
squirrel,
me, a
Pete?
lot of
Where's the
people
squirrel?
around me were,
Where's it at?
20, not
Where's the
even
squirrel?
my age, and it was great to see everyone
Where's the squirrel,
applauding when
Pete?
he talked about climate change, when he talked about equal pay, when he talked about gay rights. Those were the three biggest applause lines that I think that he got, at least from where I was standing.
Johnny
And
F.
it really
Kennedy's
showed,
grandson.
my generation voted 90% of the electorate. We were 90% of the electorate this last election and 18% last time.
God.
And
You're
I think
such a
that,
hyper
you know,
butt.
coming out today, applauding for those lines really shows that we're committed to not only this president, but really that we understand that he understands the problems that we want to address, the challenges that we need to face.
Paul, you had written in a Daily Beast article,
Where's that squirrel?
and we talked about it last night, about
Where's
what
the
you
squirrel?
thought the president should do, and you said he should basically give lip service to reaching out, but then go and be ruthless,
Where's
starting
it at,
tomorrow.
Where's it
What
at?
did you hear? Were you happy with what you heard?
I was thrilled. I was. This president often slips into sort of airy-fairy kumbaya. Oh, we should all just get along. Well, of course
You
we
hunting?
should. But that doesn't get you very far. He did just that.
Where'd
Yes,
you go?
he touched on it. He said the right things. But this was a confident, combative communitarianism. It was not political, not partisan, any more than Ronald Reagan was partisan. It was philosophical. He said, Reagan said, the American myth is the frontier. Heading out alone.
Where's that squirrel?
On our own.
Where's it at?
The rugged
Where'd it go?
individualist.
Where'd he go, Pete?
Obama answered
Where'd the
that
squirrel
today
go?
with the wagon thing, with community.
Where'd he
That
go?
We're all in this together. He rooted it
Where'd
in
the
our
squirrel go?
founders, just like Reagan did with his myth. But he spoke
Where'd he
for
go?
progressives powerfully, and this was a man itching for a fight. And I'm sure the Republicans will accommodate him. But I have to say, I think this is what a second inaugural ought to be. He set the bar very high for himself, and now he's challenged himself and his party and our country to meet that.
Margaret Hoover, from a Republican standpoint, did you hear what a lot of other Republicans seem to have heard, which is
What?
call for big government?
Well, look,
What?
President Obama always does this yin-yang thing. While on the one hand, we're a country of individualists, on the other hand, we're a country that depends on
Did you see the
community
squirrel?
spirit.
Did
And
you see it?
somewhere in the middle, therein lies the wisdom, the truth. I think what Paul said last night is, forget the overarching vision, yada, yada, yada. When you hear that tomorrow, don't listen to it.
You wanna go
He said
outside?
that last night. And then just go for the political stuff. Well, frankly, that's what he
You wanna
did.
go get the
That's
squirrel?
what I think was an intensely political speech, where he codified really important parts of the
Go get the
coalition,
squirrel?
the Democratic Party coalition, and then grounded it in the American political tradition
talking out of
in
her
the context of the
nose.
Declaration of Independence. In other words, he put the Democratic parties, he justified the Democratic
get
Party
you up,
coalition
baby.
Get it,
in the
Pete, get it,
context
get it, get it,
of
get it.
American history and the Declaration of Independence.
But it's a second term president, and to me, in watching him, it was like, we need to
Hi,
act
Dix.
now. I've
Hi,
only got
Dixie.
4 more years,
Hi,
by the
Dixie.
way, and I wanna get all of this done. Don't give me everything, I understand it, but you need to know where I am. I mean, my question
They
is.
ain't gonna show the parade, these all, they're gonna do some dirt
Are
yet.
going to be perhaps not as quick to do a lot of the things he wants, because they've gotta run for reelection. He's the only guy who doesn't,
The
right?
other question though is, where is he gonna make the mark? It's not clear here. Is it immigration reform? Is it, but that is the outstanding question at this point. Initially, it looked like he was going to push this year for a major tax and debt overhaul, and that would be his legacy of the second term. Now that doesn't look like that's going to be real. So now, is it immigration reform, but does he have a Republican
The
Party
dog that couldn't be
partnership
still.
that will allow for a sweeping enough immigration package to make that real? That's another.
Well, we didn't
It's
hear the clip discussion, the economy's gonna keep zooming,
It
we're
could
gonna.
be foreign
No.
policy. It could end up being in foreign policy, drawing down troops,
Beep.
transitioning to this new kind of war fighting
I
force
see beep.
with a drone warfare, sort of in keeping with what we're alluding to Eisenhower.
I think we're going to watch, though, two very different but equally fascinating dramas play out. Inside Washington, the Republicans still have the votes to stop the president on many things. They still control the House. They still have operational gridlock in the Senate, if you will, even though Democrats picked up. So
Crazy
inside
Pete.
Washington, the president has a challenge. But if you look at this speech, groundbreaking language on gay rights, back to climate change, gun control, immigration, and who that appeals to, as Jack just said, they have made they're doubling down on what they did in the campaign.
Save at least 50% at local restaurants, stores, and more. Shop Wild Wednesdays at WSBT.com. Check in every Wednesday for some wild deals, like this one. Get it